Bitter criticism. We are reading the genocide dossier. Yeah. Let's see what happened to this condemned people in Palestine. People just like us. People just like Chileans. Real people dying in Israel. So finally, the genocide, the Trump live updates is not again. Trump dossier is over, fortunately. There's a video that says ceasefire negotiations, Palestinians hope for peace despite Israeli breaches. The first phase of the Gaza ceasefire deal is scheduled to end on Saturday. This Saturday, I guess. There's a lot of people coming back home. People are happy, you know. People are happy despite all the massacre, genocide. Fortunately, the video looks like the video is working. The video is working. Live updates. Gaza on edge as truce expires with fears of Israel resuming devastating war. Hamas calls for international pressure on Israel as UN chief urges sides to spare no effort to extend the deal. By Frederica Marci, Uroba Jamal, March 1st, which is today, 2025, updated 8 hours ago. Hamas says no Gaza ceasefire talks on the second phase are happening as it rejects, quote unquote, Israel's formulation to extend the first stage. Israel's negotiating delegation returns from Cairo with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu scheduled to meet his security team, according to local media. Third, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the truce, quote unquote, must hold, asking the parties to, quote unquote, spare no effort to avoid a breakdown of the agreement. Fourth, the U.S. announced its approval of the sale of more than $3 billion in munition, bulldozers, and related military equipment to Israel. $3 billion. This is, it can be, who knows, for the future, you know. This is Trump administration. Gaza's health ministry has confirmed 48,388 Palestinian deaths in Israel's war on Gaza, while 111,803 people have been wounded. The government media office updated its death toll to at least 61,709, saying thousands of Palestinians missing under the rubble are presumed dead. At least 1,139 people were killed in Israel during the October 7, 2023 Hamas-led attacks, and more than 200 were taken captive. 11 minutes ago. Says fear and uncertainty in Gaza as truce phase 1 expires. Who knows what's going to happen? By Hani Hamoud. People feel they are running out of time now with no clear plan of what's going to happen. The Israeli insistence on extending the phase one on the ceasefire rather than moving forward to the agreed upon second stage indicates Israel is interested in continuing the war. So all these people coming back home in Israel, in Palestine, they are trying to find somebody that dies. That's what's happening right now. They are coming back to try to find someone. The Israeli insistence on extending the phase one of the ceasefire rather than there's a new live update available. Hamas on Sunday. Hamas on Saturday rejected Israel's formulation of extending the first phase of the ceasefire instead of proceeding to the second phase as originally planned, calling it unacceptable. According to Israel, there are 59 captives remaining in Gaza, 24 of whom are still believed to be alive. Read the full story here. This was a few seconds ago, actually. Hamas rejects Israel's formulation to extend phase one of Gaza truce. As the first phase of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire in Gaza draws to a close, negotiations on the next stage, aimed at securing a permanent truce, have so far been conclusive. And that was I was reading right here. The Israeli insistence on extending the phase one of the ceasefire rather than moving forward to the agreed upon second stage indicates Israel is interested in continuing the war. The more we talk to people, the more we realize how worried they are about the coming days and the future of the ceasefire agreement and its ability to hold for the coming phases is an indication that Gaza is in a state of war right now. There have been more than 100 people killed over the last 48 hours. 48 days. There have been more than 100 people killed over the last 48 days, most while trying to return to their destroyed homes. 100 people in 48 days, most while trying to return to their destroyed homes. There's also the Israeli refusal to withdraw from the Philadelphia corridor. So the Israelis, they don't want peace. They don't want peace. They want to keep the war. The more we talk, these are major elements of the ceasefire. People are still haunted by the nightmarish scenes of devastation and bloodshed that went on for 15 months. They haven't woken up from it yet. Yeah, this is still a war still going. And there's a photograph. Children play on a destroyed building in Jabalia, northern Gaza. And says, half an hour ago, 30 minutes ago, Hamas calls on UN to stop Israeli violations in occupied West Bank. Hamas says the demolition of homes in the Nur Shams camp by Israeli soldiers who forced residents to flee is a war crime. In a statement, the group said The destruction, along with remarks made by Israeli politicians, affirms, quote, Israel's systematic intention to displace our people from the camps in the northern West Bank. Quote, we warn of the consequences of continued international silence on the crimes of the fascist occupation government against our people, end quote. A statement said, quote, we call on the United Nations and its institutions to take immediate action to stop the occupation horrific and ongoing violations of international laws, end quote. And there's a photograph. A Palestinian woman walks out of the Nur Shams camp in the occupied West Bank. The photograph is by Mohammed Torokman, Reuters. This looks like Salvador. Looks like some parts of Chile, and we don't even have been in war. Saturday, March 4th, 1 hour ago, Israeli bulldozers demolished homes in Nur Shams. Residents told to leave. On the first day of Ramadan, Israeli military bulldozers have entered the Nur Shams refugee camp in the occupied West Bank, demolishing homes and tearing up roads. Nihad al-Shawish, head of the camp's popular committee, told the Anadolu news agency, quote, several military bulldozers stormed the Al-Manshiya neighborhood, quote, end quote, and destroyed residential buildings. Israeli soldiers forced residents to evacuate, saying they were preparing for, quote-unquote, large-scale detonations. He said, quote, the army has ordered all residents of the camp to leave, end quote. Al-Shawish said. According to the UN, at least 55 Palestinians and 3 Israeli soldiers have been killed since the incursion was launched in January. The assault has displaced more than 40,000 Palestinians. And there's a graphic. Israel's war on Gaza. Israel's assault on West Bank continues. The graphic shows just what I said. Israeli assault on West Bank continues. Amid a ceasefire in Gaza, Israeli forces have displaced more than 35,000 Palestinians from the Jenin, Tulkarem, and Farah refugee camps. Anyway, that's it. And there's photograph 1 hour ago. Saturday, March 1, photos. Displaced Palestinians live in tent camps surrounded by rubble. These are nice camps. I don't have a camp like that. So anyway, global south suffering Bosnia, suffering Nigeria, just like the song says. I'm going to read this very last one. Saturday, March 1st, 1 hour ago, Prime Minister Netanyahu, quote-unquote, responsible for the fact Hamas still in control in Gaza. Israel's failure to engage in negotiations for Phase 2 of the Gaza ceasefire is a clear breach of the agreement it signed. A former security official from the country says, when it comes to who will govern Gaza after the war ends, everyone knows Netanyahu from the very early stages prevent any discussion of that, said Eran Etzion, former deputy head of Israel's National Security Council. Quote, we forbade, for example, the Israel Strategic Planning Branch in the military to plan anything to that effect. he affordable any cabinet discussions, even when his now deposed defense minister pledged for it. So he is the one responsible for the fact that Hamas is still in control in Gaza, end quote. Etzion told Al Jazeera. He added that with Hamas still in power, Israel's government can claim it must return to war. Netanyahu will, quote unquote, sacrifice the hostages, sacrifice more soldiers, and continue fighting, end quote. With the Trump administration firmly backing Israel's moves in Palestinian territory, it's able to cut humanitarian aid, and so the leadership believes, quote, now this time around, it will really be possible to completely defeat Hamas and create a new situation on the ground, end quote, Etzion said. Anyway, who knows? Who knows? You know, there's a revolutionary organization in Brazil called Partido da Causa Operária, hard-working cause party, hard-working cause party. Pretty funny, because this is a heavy work. Anyway, working class cause. There's a party in Brazil. The leader, Rui Costa Pimenta, he says Hamas, they still have a lot of soldiers. I didn't saw the images, but it's what he said. That there's a lot of soldiers, and the soldiers of Hamas soldiers are having a good time. Actually, they are not desperate. But anyway,